Hi everyone, it's Danny Norian here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about walk-in panels. Now, for the most part, there are two types of walk-in panels in the marketplace today. One is the Camlock, and the other one is the slide-in panel. In this video I'm going to be doing 3 different tests and see how they compare to each other. The first test is going to be the durability test. The second is going to be the water resistant test. And lastly, it's going to be the fire resistant test. So for the first test, I'm going to come up and show you guys up close. And as you can see, what I'm going to be doing is first I'm going to be pushing into the slide-in panel. This is the durability test. So I'm going to see the stiffness of the walk-in panel, the material inside the slide-in panel. So when I push inside, I can actually see my fingerprints inside the foam. As you can see, you can hear it's popping and cracking inside. It is actually quite soft. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the Camlock panel. See, this Camlock panel is much more stiffer, much more compact, and I could barely see my fingerprint. As opposed to the slide-in panel, you could very easily see my fingerprint. And there isn't much cracking and not much popping of the foam inside. So much more stiff. Next thing is the water resistant. So I'm going to come up close again for this test. And all I'm going to do is just pour some water on it and just see how well it can hold water. So I'm just going to move it around. And yes, and doesn't hold. All the water is easily getting absorbed inside the panel here, inside the slide-in panel. As I could have guessed that, because as the first test, it was much. We saw that it is not that compact, and water just sits right inside the foam, which is a big no-no when it comes to quality of a walk-in panel. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other one, with the Camlock panel. So I'm going to pour some water up on top. And the water here, as soon as I pour it on, just immediately falls right off the foam, right off the panel. So not much water, if any, gets stuck in the foam or even on it. And the last test I'm going to be doing is a fire resistant test. So what I'm going to be doing is just sliding a piece of the foam up and see how it reacts, how the foam reacts, see what happens. So I'm going to find a dry spot. Got my match here. Now let's see what happens when I light it up. Don't know if you guys can see, but the flame just eats up the foam, just like butter almost. You can see it just eats up any kind of foam it comes in contact with, and just, yeah, huge dent inside the foam here. Now I'm going to do the same thing, just use one match and see what happens when I put it against the Camlock panel. Let's see what happens. So none of the foam is eaten up. However, there is a black stain from the flame. That was amazing. None of the foam got damaged, just a black mark from the flame. So after these 3 tests, we can come to a conclusion that the Camlock panel is much more better quality than the slide-in panel, and therefore I strongly recommend that you guys use the Camlock panel. Although it's a bit more pricier than the slide-in panel, in the long run it does pay off. Your cooler will last longer. The refrigeration components don't have to work as hard because the thermal resistance is very high. So the coolness inside the walk-in box is very tight. It stays in, the cold stays inside the walk-in box, and the warm air from the outside stays outside. Once again, this is Danny Norian. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!